this workshop, because as we know, we probably won't have that many attendance because of some other parents won't be able to attend. So we're recording this session for to share in eventually by emails to the families. So if you would like to be on camera, that's perfectly fine with us. But if you would rather not to, you can also turn off your camera. But if it's good with you, stay right there with us because we would like to for you to participate. Okay, thank you. Mute your mic when not speaking. Use the chat to share your ideas. Recordatorio de aprendizajes en línea. Encuentre un lugar tranquilo y limite el ruido. Sea positivo y respetuoso al comunicarse. Apague el video para hablar y apáguelo para ahorrar la banda. Silencia su micrófono cuando no esté hablando y use el chat para compartir tus ideas. At this time, I would like to do a small, quick icebreaker. And as we continue, I would like to hear from you. What do you think? Just create your own hashtag. What do you think about, based on your own experience, about virtual classes? Please type on the chat and create your own hashtag. We would like to hear from you. What has been your experience with virtual classes? So I'm going to allow 1 minute so we can complete this task. How is your experience with virtual classes? En este momento nos gustaría que usted compartiera con nosotros, que usted creara su propio hashtag y usted nos dijera cómo se sienten con las clases virtuales de acuerdo a sus experiencias. Okay, we have one. It says must have parent. I totally agree. Yes, based on my experience as well. I have 3 kids in the district. I have one in high school. I have one in middle school. Another one in intermediate, and it's been hard. Yes, ma'am. Team too much. Yes, thank you. Anybody else that would like to share something else? Thank you for sharing. All right, thank you for sharing your hashtag. We had 2 participants, and I forgot to tell from the beginning that we're giving out some prizes. We have 2 participants so far, so we have 2 prizes giving away at the end of this presentation. So thank you for your feedback, parents. And yes, so we're going to be talking about math, about resolving conflict and math problems and how these two align to each other. So here are the learning outcomes. Aquí están los resultados de aprendizaje para este día. Identifying problems, identificando los problemas, analyzing situations, analizando la situación, solving problems, resolviendo el problemas, evaluating responsibility, evaluando responsabilidad. If you have paper and a pencil close to you, or if you don't have close to you, please go ahead and grab one because we're going to solve this problem together. Here's one problem that I would like to share all together. So if you can please find a paper and a pencil so we can solve this one together. I need a volunteer that can read this problem for me. Who's ready to read this problem for me? ¿Quién está listo para leer este problema conmigo? Yes, Miss Lemon, please. Thank you.
Okay. I'll only read the English one though.
Yes, ma'am.
Felix swam, rode his bike, and ran in a race. He spent 19 minutes swimming He spent 21 minutes riding his bike. He spent 30 minutes running. What was the total amount of time Felix spent swimming, riding his bike, and running in this race?
Thank you so much, Ms. Lemon. I will read the Spanish one. Durante una competencia, Félix nadó, anduvo en su bicicleta y corrió en una carrera. Pasó 19 minutos nadando, pasó 21 minutos andando y pasó 30 minutos corriendo. ¿Cuál fue la cantidad de total de tiempo que Félix pasó nadando y corriendo bicicleta y corriendo en esta competencia? Now I would like to ask you, what we have to do in this specific problem? Who can answer this for me? What is the keyword that is going to tell us what to do? We have an answer on the chat. Let's see. Total. Yes, ma'am. We're going to add. There you go. So if we're going to add this one, I just added before the presentation. So who can tell me what's the answer for this problem? I have a 60. Let's see, who else? Who else have a different answer? Let's see. I have somebody that answers 60. Who else has a different one? Let's see. I had to revise my answer. There you go. I was okay. Maybe I did something wrong here. Thank you. Yes, we have 70. So 70 minutes is the answer for this problem. Thank you so much for sharing your answer on the chat. Y sí, tenemos ¿qué es lo que tenemos que hacer aquí en este problema en particular? Si vemos y juntamos todo, dice cuál fue la cantidad total. Esa palabra de total es lo que nos indica a nosotros que lo que debemos hacer es sumar. Pues entonces ahorita cuando agarramos todos los números y los sumamos, nosotros tenemos un proceso. Pero para ese proceso, nosotros tenemos que llevar unos pasos. Now, who would like to share with me what was the process that took you to complete this and to find this solution? How do you solve this problem when you were working on the side with your paper and pencil? What was the process that you took? Who would like to share with me? Who would like to share with us? We would like to hear from you. I have all the numbers down. I have the 19, the 21, and the 30, and then I added the 9, 1, and the 0, and then I took the one on the other side, and then I added them down, which it gave me the 70. But anybody did something different? So pretty much because this one is math, it's pretty easy for us to solve this one. So at this moment, I'm going to share with you a system that is an apps check, and is going to allow students and even us to how we can use these strategies with our students. Oops, sorry. Okay. Is the apps strategies. The first one is analyze given information. Analyze the given information to understand the problem. Then we're going to formulate a plan or a strategy. Map your path to a solution. And the S, we're going to follow your plan. We're going to follow and show my work and my thinking. And then we're going to label my answer. And at the end, I'm going to justify and verify my solution. We're going to reread the question and we're going to check my answer to the original question. So I'm going to check my work based on the problem from the beginning so that way I can see if I have the right answer. Entonces aquí tenemos una estrategia que se llama APS, Apps, que nosotros vamos a analizar la información que hemos recibido. Esa información que hemos recibido la vamos a entender el problema para ver quién y qué, de qué se trata el problema. Luego vamos a formular un plan o una estrategia. Luego vamos a seguir ese plan para ponerlo en marcha y pensar en ese plan. Luego vamos a justificar y verificar nuestra solución. At this time, I'm going to share a pretty good video and another strategies that you can also use with your scholar at home. So please let me know with your thumbs up if you can hear this video, please.
Hello, this is Mr.
Thank you. Sorry, there you go.
Mr. Buffington, and today we are solving some world problems. Oh wait, word problems. We're solving math word problems. We're going to look at things that are all written out and we're going to use some math to solve them. We're going to see how knowing math can actually help us in life if we ever, I don't know, eat a bunch of hamburgers. So, first off, what to expect today. We are going to identify what the question is asking, strategize how we're going to solve it, and then set it up with math terms, solve the question, and check our work. Those are the basic steps that we are going to follow, those 5 steps. Most problem-solving strategies are based around these same basic principles, although they may call them different things for the different steps. But this is the basic 5-step process for solving word problems. Let's take a look at a word problem. If I have 24 hamburgers, I eat half of them in 1 hour, then my dog eats half of what was left in 1 hour. How many hamburgers do I have left? So first off, ew, that is a ridiculous amount of food to eat. All right, now moving on. Let's look at our 5-step process. 1. What are we looking for? What is the question actually asking? I like to underline this and make sure that it's really obvious. This is what I'm looking for. Sometimes it'll be just knowing what you're looking for will actually make the whole process easier. And it also makes it possible at the end for you to check whether you have a reasonable answer. So you need to know what you're looking for. Part of this step, sometimes people like to identify what is not important and cross that off. So I'll go ahead and do some of that. If I have, not important. Hamburgers, doesn't matter what he has. In 1 hour, doesn't matter. Then my dog eats in 1 hour. That's pretty much all unimportant information. So the information we have left is there's 24. I eat half of them. My dog eats half of them. Someone else eats half of them. How many do I have left? So 24, half of them, and half of them. That's really what is super important in this. So we can definitely identify that as well. So that's my identify step. What are we looking for? What's not important? Step number 2, strategize. How am I going to solve this? This is a strategy, it's not math. So what I say is something like this. Half means dividing. Specifically, half means dividing by 2. So I'm going to solve this using division. I'm going to solve it by dividing something in half. Perfect. Then I'm going to set it up. That's the step where I actually write down the math. I had 24, I'm dividing it by 2, and then I'm taking what's left and dividing it by 2 again. That's how I would write it down in math terms. Step number 4 says I solve it. And for that step, I'm going to actually do the math. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So my answer is 6. And my final step is to check my work. When I'm doing the check your work step, there's a couple of different things you can do. One, you definitely have to ask yourself, does this make sense? Look at the question, how many hamburgers do I have left? I started with 24. I ate half of them. My dog ate half of that. Does having 6 left make sense? Yeah, if it was an answer like 600 at the end, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense that you have more at the end than when you started. So this step helps us to think about what we're doing. Also, you could actually work the question backwards. This is a step called using inverse operations. So if you start with 6 and then you double it and double it, would you end back with your 24? Let's see, 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. It works. So we can actually use that. That's called inverse operations to work our question backwards as well. All right, those are just a couple of ways. But those are the 5 steps that I use and how I use them to solve this question. Let's do another question. I spend 5 hours in class each day. Boring. How much time do I spend in class each week? First off, ew. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go through our steps. First, I identify what is it that we are looking for. The question's asking, how much time do I spend in class each week? What is not important? I spend and boring maybe. It might be funny, but it's not that important for actually having us answer the question. All right, so we can cross off the things that are not important. Now let's strategize. How will I actually solve this? I go to school 5 days a week. I'm going to multiply times 5. That's my strategy. Setting it up is actually writing down the math, 5 hours per day times 5 days. My solving is actually doing the math. 5 times 5 is 25. Now I'm going to check my work. I can check my work the same way I did before. First off, does it make sense? Does 25 hours sound like a reasonable answer to this? Is how much time I'm spending in class per week. I could actually work the question backwards. 25 hours divided by 5 days would give me 5. So the question would work backwards as well. All right, so here are just 2 sample questions showing us how we can use these 5 steps for solving word problems. Let's do a quick step reminder. 1, we identify what we're looking for. 2, strategize. How are we going to solve it? 3, write it down. 4, do the math. And 5, check your work. So those are the 5 steps. I hope that lesson was helpful for you. Have a wonderful day. Hello, this is
Miss, you're on mute.
You're muted.
Sorry. Sorry, yes. This was another way another strategy to show how we can solve math problems with our students. Another that they have to identify the word problems, and there's some keys that they will tell the students if they have to multiply, if they have to add, if they have to subtract. So as we continue, at this time, I will show you another situation based on, and the goal for this section is to think about how math problem solving is similar to solving personal problems or resolving a conflict in relationships. So en este momento, la meta es cómo las matemáticas se pueden relacionar a resolver los conflictos también de entre las relaciones. Now, parents, let's read this scenario. I'm pretty sure that each of us has go through this similar situation at home, especially if we have kids that likes and loves video games. So who would like to read the first one, the English one, please? I will read the Spanish one. Who would like to unmute yourself? Come on, Juan Carlos.
So I read the blue.
The blue one, yes, please. Thank you, sweetie.
It's time for your child to go to bed, but instead they want to play video games longer. What would you do?
Thank you, Juan Carlos. Es hora de que su hijo se vaya a la cama, pero en lugar quieren jugar videojuegos por más tiempo. ¿Qué harías? What will you do, mom? What will you do as a parent if you have this situation going on at home? Who would like to unmute yourself to share your thoughts about this? Or you can also type on the chat. We would like to hear from you, mom, parents.
Yes, this is Miss Pacheco. I would give Bella another 10 minutes.
Leo.
Thank you, Miss Pacheco. If after that 10 minutes, they're like, Mom, I would like 10 more minutes. How will you handle that, Miss Pacheco?
Oh no, Isabella knows that mom means business. When I say 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you. Because they know their boundaries, right? They know their limits. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Miss Pacheco. We have an answer on the chat. I don't negotiate with children like negotiating with terrorists. Yes. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Yes. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share? Anybody else would like to share something that you do at home? What will you do if you have this going on? Let's solve this situation together. Come on, parents. One more. Who would like to share your thoughts? Juan Carlos, would you like to say something?
They would just tell me to go to bed.
And do you hear what your mom and dad said?
Mm-hmm.
Good. There you go. Good job, Juan Carlos. Thank you. So we have a conflict resolution steps. Tenemos la guía de cómo guiar los pasos para resolver el conflicto. The number one is stop the conflict. El número uno es detener el conflicto. Say something to stop the conflict. Wait, let's talk about this. I know that's me as a mom. Sometimes I have to remind this to myself because there's some specific situations that we have to sometimes take a deep breath before we can say anything. So number two, name the problem. Using I message to say how you feel. I feel this way. I feel sad because you're not listening, because you're not following instructions. So we have to let our children know how we're feeling about this situation. Number three, think of solutions. Everyone works together to fix the problem. And number four, make a choice. Choose a solution together. Aquí vamos a discutir este plan y el primero es detener ese conflicto. Vamos a decir algo para detener ese conflicto, vamos a trabajarlo y vamos a hablarlo juntos. Nombre el problema, diga algo como yo me siento de esta manera, yo me siento triste porque tú no estás escuchando, yo me siento molesto porque no estás prestando atención. Número tres, pensar en soluciones de cómo trabajar y para resolver el problema. Y número cuatro, hacer y tomar una decisión para trabajarlos juntos en común. Us as parents will need to guide our children through this process as they learn how to make wise choices. Does anybody would like to share your thoughts as a parent, your own experience when you at home, when you had to make choices with your student, with your child, when it becomes about conflict resolution? Any strategies that you have in place at home that would you like to share with, please? We would like to hear from you too. Yes, Ms. Lemon.
So we have this chart system at home. Hold on. We have a chart system at home because it doesn't matter how many times I say it or taking toys away, but losing these coins matters to her. So that works for us. So if it's like a behavior that I want to stop, whether it's academic or just something social, emotional type thing, the coin system works. She can earn coins for doing the positive behaviors, and then she can lose coins for negative behaviors. And the thing about making the chart is I let her help me pick the things that go on it and help decide like how much each thing is worth. And then we together decide on like what prizes she can redeem her coins for. And I don't like making the chart, but it works.
Awesome. I like that, Miss Lemon. I'm probably gonna start using something similar with my kids, especially with my little one. Yes. See, he's the little one. He's the one that I have more trouble with. Yes. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's an awesome idea. Thank you, Miss Lemon. Anybody else that would like to share something that you do at home when it becomes about resolving conflict? Juan Carlos? Thank you again, Miss Lemon.
Hi, he wanted me to tell you how we solve the conflicts when he doesn't want to do something, or in this case, go to bed. So I usually talk to him about the consequences, you know, the outcomes, the possible outcomes, how bad it can go. And I ask him if he is gonna be happy with the outcome. And when he realizes that it's not gonna be something good, then he opts to make better choices.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, we had to make those consequences very clear and those expectations for our students, our child, because otherwise, if we don't set those boundaries with them, yes, we're going to create more conflict if we don't. Very true. Thank you so much. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Monica.
Monica, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Lemon, for sharing your chart. Thank you so much. Yes, this is a great way so we can solve conflict at home, especially when it becomes about rules that we have in place for our children at home. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to share with you another good video that is going to share some strategies for resolving conflict, and also it helps us to different scenarios at home with any relationships. So I would like for you to share this. I would like to share this video with you. En este momento voy a compartir un video con ustedes porque esto nos ayuda de otras maneras, no tan solo con nuestros estudiantes, sino también los diferentes escenarios en la escuela. So, como también ya habíamos compartido, es muy importante que nosotros creemos a nuestros estudiantes un plan de resolución de problemas, para que ellos también conozcan lo que son las consecuencias y para que ellos tengan una efectividad a la hora de resolver conflictos.
Resolving conflict. In any decision-making process, there is potential for conflict to develop. People may find it difficult to work together because they have different values and interests, or because their personalities and attitudes are not compatible. Conflict that is not properly handled can have a negative effect on council activities. It can reduce productivity and affect the morale and confidence of council members. However, well-managed conflict can help to clarify issues. It can create new opportunities for discussion and strengthen relationships among members. Here is a helpful list. Number 1, acknowledge that there is a problem. Clarify and clearly state the concerns, needs, and interests of the people involved in the dispute. Emphasize the ground rules. Adopt a positive tone and a problem-solving attitude. Set ground rules that will help maintain a courteous, respectful environment for discussion. Some of these ground rules could be no interruptions, respect each person's opinion, address the issue and not the person, or each member is encouraged to contribute. Number 3, look for areas of agreement. Start by helping members find common ground. Identify areas of agreement before addressing the differences. Number 4, affirm the value of different opinions. Discuss the fact that different opinions are natural in resolving conflict. Resolving conflict. In any decision-making process, there is potential for conflict to develop. People may find it difficult to work together because they have different values and interests, or because their personalities and attitudes are not compatible. Conflict that is not properly handled can have a negative effect on council activities. It can reduce productivity and affect the morale and confidence of council members. However, well-managed conflict can help to clarify issues. It can create new opportunities for discussion and strengthen relationships among members. Here is a helpful list. Number 1, acknowledge that there is a problem. Clarify and clearly state the concerns, needs, and interests of the people involved in the dispute. Emphasize the ground rules. Adopt a positive tone and a problem-solving attitude. Set ground rules that will help maintain a courteous, respectful environment for discussion. Some of these ground rules could be no interruptions, respect each person's opinion, address the issue and not the person, or each member is encouraged to contribute. Number 3, look for areas of agreement. Start by helping members find common ground. Identify areas of agreement before addressing the differences. Number 4, affirm the value of different opinions. Discuss the fact that different opinions are natural in a group. Help members separate the opinion from the person holding the opinion, and do not allow personal attacks. Focus on the problem, not the person. Number 5, listen to everyone's point of view. Let council members express their opinions and perspectives. People will be more willing to discuss alternatives if you acknowledge and legitimize their right to hold particular points of view, even if you don't agree with them. Number 6, define the conflict early. Make sure you understand the issue causing the conflict and that you are focusing on the right problem. Try to identify any assumptions, expectations, misinformation, or lack of information that may be influencing members' opinions. Many conflicts can be resolved by improving communication and explaining issues carefully. Number 7, create solutions. Identify a range of options for solving the problem. Invite others in the group to help resolve the conflict. List the advantages and disadvantages of each option. And finally, number 8, choose a solution. Choose the best solution and follow up to make sure that it is carried out. We hope that this list has been helpful in how to resolve conflict among council members. Thank you. Take care. Resolving
I'm sorry, I apologize. I was having technical difficulties here. As we continue, we can see that math problem versus conflict resolution. Problemas matemáticos versus resolviendo conflictos. What do you notice about solving a problem or resolving a conflict? ¿Qué notaste acerca de resolviendo un problemas matemáticos o resolviendo un conflicto? Who would like to share with me your thoughts, your ideas about when we become about comparing the problem solving and resolving conflict? What you notice? Who would like to share with me what you notice that is similar in both of these components? ¿Qué notaron? ¿Qué podemos ver que tienen similar estos dos componentes? You can also type it on the chat. If you don't want to unmute yourself, who would like to share with me? What strategies will you use next time that you face a conflict? ¿Qué estrategias usará la próxima vez que encuentres un conflicto? Who would like to share with me on the chat, or you can also unmute yourself? We would like to hear from you, parents. All right, in here we have the two strategies. We have the math one and we have the conflict resolution steps. What you can see that they have both similar. when it becomes about identifying the problem. We have an answer on the chat. Listening carefully. Thank you. It is very important for us to listen carefully to identify that problem so we can find the best solution to the problem. Thank you for sharing. So we have similars that we have to identify the problem in order to find the solution for the problem. So we have the conflict solution steps and the apps that they have similar items that align together when it becomes about problems and how to find a wise and the best solution. Use strategies. Thank you. Exactly. We have to use strategies and there's a process. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, Miss. Thank you, Miss Sherry. Anybody else would like to share something else? Miss Linwood, would you like to add something else?
I definitely agree with the listening carefully and also listening with a willingness to be influenced.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Miss Linwood. I appreciate your input, parents. And this concludes our math workshop for this evening. I appreciate each of you. Please do not leave because I have a couple more slides that I would like to share with you. But at this time, I would like for it as we approach to the spring break, and we're going to do some activities, outdoor activities. The weather is pretty good outside. So I would like to just share this slide with you about how we can stop the spread of germs and how we can control. This is something that we're required to share with families as well. And here are the new CDC guidelines. So if you would like to take a picture of this information, and also we have it on Spanish. Right here, lo tenemos en español también, cómo seguir manteniendo la distancia, cómo seguir manteniendo las áreas limpias, cómo seguir manteniendo la distancia de 6 pies, manteniendo la casa, manteniendo las superficies limpias y lavándonos las manos constantemente. So it's very important for us to continue just washing our hands constantly, keeping the distance, and the wearing the face mask. The CDC is reinforcing this. So parents, as we continue fighting this virus, I just encourage you just to keep this with you for the following days, because we would like to have you and our family safe. And as we continue with the end of this presentation, we're going to reflect on the learning. Vamos a reflexionar en el aprendizaje. Now with the information that you receive, how will you resolve a problem with your children? Ya que tienes una información que recibiste, ¿cómo resolverías el problema con sus hijos? Who would like to share with me based on the information that you received this evening? What is something that you would like to share with your student, with your scholar at home? I would like to hear from you, parents. If you don't want to mute yourself, you can also type on the chat. Is there anything that you would like, please, to share? What will you do in the future occasions when it becomes a math word problems and resolving conflict with your child, or your student might be facing something at school? How you might tell your scholar how to solve that conflict too?
I'll be using the math strategy in class to help my students solve word problems. And I probably will go ahead and share the conflict one, because that's something they can use with each other also when they're having issues.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, each of you. I'm very excited to have each of you this evening. And this concludes our presentation for this evening. Thank you. I'm very happy to have each of you. Thank you so much for your time. Here's a QR code, and this QR code, I would like for you to complete a small, quick survey. I would like to hear from you. So please give us your feedback. So we would like to hear your feedback, and we will have another workshop next month. I'm about to share that information with you. Our next parent workshop will be on April the 1st. It will be a Thursday at 6 p.m. You will receive some more information coming up soon. So thank you so much again. And here is my personal information. So please take a picture. Here's my email, my number, how you can reach me directly. If there's any resources, academic, reading, math, please do not hesitate. Get in touch with me. I would like to help you in any area that you might be needing help with your scholar. So do not hesitate. I'm here to serve you, serve my families from Acton, Hyman, and Smith. And thank you again for joining us this evening, families. Have a great evening.